diffuse. Trade fights for better views. We both need something new. Maybe we should just tell them. I shouldn't think I is so good. So long to rendezvous. So long to.
Hello, hive-minded readers, and welcome to the Books and the Bees podcast. Just like bees play a crucial role in pollinating flowers and sustaining life, books pollinate minds and nurture the soul. We see the connection between the two, the delicate dance of ideas and stories that enrich our lives.
I'm Hailey.
I'm Cody.
Welcome to our podcast.
Hello, Hailey.
Hello. We're out here.
Do you know what episode it is?
I do know what episode it is, but what is it?
It's episode 69.
69?
The best number.
The best number in the world.
Obviously. Yep.
Yeah,
we're here.
Yeah.
69. We finally made it.
we made it. We made it to the golden number. Now wrap it up. Let's go out. We're out.
Yep. We're done. Can't do it past this. Can't go past this.
We're done.
We're done. Yep. This is the last one. How you doing, Hailey?
I'm all right. I'm tired. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. It's Friday.
It is.
So that's
It
nice.
is Friday.
But I told Hailey this right before we started recording, but I have had this horrific adventure with patio furniture the last week. I think I've actually mentioned on air that we bought patio furniture a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the day that we bought the patio furniture and it delivered to our house in a box, it started raining.
Oh, no.
And it has been raining ever since we've got the furniture. So the first day we got it, I took it out of the box, all still wrapped in bubble wrap, and it rained. So I left him in the bubble wrap outside, and then it's just been raining every day. So every day I've been going out and assembling a little tiny bit at a time, and then just having a torrential downpour. And today was actually the first day it didn't rain so bad. So I went out and I spent about 2 hours outside trying to put these stupid metal chairs together.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been a huge struggle because it's so hard to get the stupid armrests on. And I ended up getting bit by mosquitoes all over my back. I have 10 mosquito bites.
Dang.
So I had to ask my wife to put hydrocortisone cream all across my back, basically, because otherwise I probably would be going insane right now. That
sounds terrible and awful, but also how dare you put patio furniture outside?
Yeah, right. That's the risk we play, I guess.
The universe was no.
Yeah, fuck you, Cody. You can't get any of this.
I see you bought patio furniture.
Yeah. So we have patio furniture. We just can't take advantage of it. We have 2 chairs assembled and a chair that's half assembled because I can't get the damn thing on. So I'm going to have to probably take it off and redo it again. So really just 2 chairs done.
Yeah.
And I still have the other 2 chairs and the stupid table. So
wow.
But do what you can, I guess.
Yeah. Little baby steps.
Baby steps. It'll be together one day, and I'll enjoy it one day.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
When the summer's over and you have to put it back in.
Yeah, probably the day we move away from here and have to sell it.
Oh my god.
But it's been great reading weather. It's really been raining. We had a huge rainstorm on Tuesday. I think we got 4 inches of rain.
Wow.
We had flash flooding. It was pretty severe. So it's definitely different than what I'm used to, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the rain on that side of the U.S. is seriously no joke.
Yep, it's buckets of water. Just, yeah.
Yeah, it's not it's raining, but it's raining heavy. No, it's you step outside and you are now soaked.
Yeah, no, it's on the West, everyone's oh, I love it when it rains because I can go outside and I don't get super wet and it's fun. And then over here, it's nothing but a waterfall on you all the time.
Yeah. It feels like someone just turned on a faucet and you're cool.
Yes, exactly. And then it's humid and gross. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't know about you guys, but our windows would fog up in the summer. It was kind of gross.
Oh, I don't think we've experienced that yet.
Yeah, I would get so humid that some of our windows would fog up. To be fair, our windows kind of also sucked, but
Yeah, that's horrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was gross.
I hope we don't get that. Yeah. We missed the tail end of summer when we moved, so we haven't really experienced a full summer here yet. So we'll see this year. But
we're in for a treat.
It's gonna be fucking hot. I can tell you that right now.
It's gonna be
oh my god,
fucking hot, and it's gonna be fucking gross. Make sure, like, definitely a dehumidifier and like an AC or something.
Yeah,
lots of fan.
We do have
action.
central air,
Oh,
thankfully.
Good.
So yeah. Yep, have to invest in gold bond probably, but we'll make it through.
Yeah. For sure.
Yep. Do you know what else is humid?
No. What?
The books we're reading.
Ew.
Oh my god. I couldn't think of a transition and I picked the worst one.
I think it's funny because of the number that we're doing.
Of the number, yeah.
Podcast.
Oh Lord.
That's hilarious.
Well, they kind of fit because
Yeah.
we're both reading romances. So,
We are.
yeah.
Oh, and
Do you want?
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just saw what book you're reading. The author, and I love him.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited to talk about that book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, should I go then?
Yeah,
Should
talk
I go
about it.
first? Okay. So I have two books. I'll talk about the one that Hailey's excited about because I really want to talk about it. It is Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green.
Hell yeah.
Who I love John Green and I love Hank Green.
Samesies.
They're both amazing people.
Same.
They're so funny and so smart. And John Green is a really great fiction author, but he also has written a couple nonfiction books. This is, I believe, his second nonfiction book, and it's all about tuberculosis. And it's basically just him talking about his obsession with his obsession with tuberculosis. He went to Sierra Leone with his wife a couple years ago, and when he was touring the hospital, he met somebody with tuberculosis, and it kind of just inspired him to learn more about the disease. And he talks about history through the context of tuberculosis, and he basically makes a case that the reason everything the way it is now is because of tuberculosis. New Mexico became a state partially because of tuberculosis, because enough people moved to New Mexico to make it state worthy. Because they were told if you had tuberculosis, if you played Red Dead 2, you know this, but if you get tuberculosis, I guess that might be spoilers. I'm sorry for the people who haven't played the storyline of Red Dead 2. But you get tuberculosis and you're told to go out west, and that's what people were told back in the day. And so a lot of people went to New Mexico where it was dry to try to prolong their life. And so enough people moved to get statehood. The cowboy hat was invented by a guy who moved to St. Louis because he had tuberculosis, and he hated the hats that people wore in the West. And so he invented the cowboy hat. The people who assassinated the archbishop that caused World War II had tuberculosis.
Damn.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
And it's a terrible disease. It's still really bad in a lot of countries. Fortunately, I mean, at least in the United States, it's not something that we worry about a lot. But yeah, for now, that's true. Good point. In another few years, we might be. But it is a pretty terrible disease. And for a really long time, it was the number one cause of death for humans. Like, I think many, many people died of tuberculosis. And it's crazy that we've been able to treat it as good as we have, and yet not be able to treat it in countries that really need to be treated. So he kind of conveys that, and it's a really great book. I'm actually listening to it, and he narrates it. So yeah, it's really, really good.
Wow. Yeah, and I love, like, this is probably going to sound a little strange, but I love the way that Hank Green and John Green talk. Their voices are very nice to listen to. Yeah,
I really like both of them, and I like John Green too. I just like his writing style. He's really good. The other book I'm reading is perfect for this episode. I didn't purposely make it this way, but it lined up really nicely. It is I Got Abducted by Aliens and Now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com by Kimberly Lemming, who, for faithful listeners of the show, know that I read her previous trilogy. The Mead Mishaps trilogy is what it's called. And I love those books. And this is her new series. I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy, but I know it's going to be a series. Just came out, I think, this year.
Yeah.
I think it was on our best of this year, wasn't
Yeah.
it? So it's great. I'm probably 20% in. It feels a lot like Ice Planet Barbarians, actually.
Oh, hell yeah.
The plot is remarkably similar to Ice Planet Barbarians, but I'm not really sure where the rom-com comes in, but I'm excited to find out. And I'm really enjoying it. So
That's not, I mean, the author's titles alone just are enough to make me want to read them, so.
Chef's kiss. Yeah. Chef's kiss, honestly.
Truly.
I haven't rated it on the honey scale yet because I haven't gotten to a scene yet, but I'm basing it off of everything before. She's probably going to give me a 5. Probably. So, I'll say honeyed frenzy for now and change it if I need to later, but I think that's probably a safe bet.
Could you imagine it's like super vanilla and like nothing?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all off the page romance.
You're like, she's like, this is the rom-com of it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so that's what I've got. Just, continue reading. I've been trucking along and excited to hear the book that you're reading, Hailey.
Hell yeah. I will say that both of the books that you're reading sound really, really interesting. And honestly, the Everything is Tuberculosis sounds really interesting too. I feel like I would want to listen to him like do like a TED Talk on it though, than read a book about it.
Yeah.
But...
It is short. The audio is like 5 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
So that's probably like it's probably like 200 pages of a book. I mean, it's a short book. So yeah.
Interessante.
Yeah. What are you getting into?
I'm still getting into the same book. I've had a little bit of a busy week, so I haven't really had time to just sit down and read. And I haven't been doing my like self-care relaxing of like just sitting on the couch and reading the book. So still reading.
Good for you.
Yeah. Still reading the Sovereign Mountain series. The second book that's called Westin. So, which I learned that the author, each book is named after like one of the like main male characters. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So Sovereign was named because his name is Sovereign. Well, he goes by Sovereign.
Okay.
I would too if I had the name Gerard or Gerald.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. God. I forgot you told me that.
I was like, what a horrible name.
Yeah.
Sorry, no offense to the author. I don't know about you, but I'm really big on names when it comes to books and like reading characters. A name can make or break it, I'll tell you what.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because like I don't like, okay, for instance, one of the books that I read recently, the main character's name was one of my best friend's names. I'm not gonna say what the name was, and which book it was because that would give it away. But yeah, and it was real bizarre to read because I was like, I can't stop thinking about my best friend. This is weird.
Yeah, that I do have a problem with that sometimes. That specifically, I typically tend to not remember characters' names very well, so I usually I'll remember the names fairly okay when I read the book, but the second I put the book down, I literally forget all the character names. And I have no idea who they are. I just remember them as what they did in the book. So they don't really stick with me that way.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, that's the second one's name. The second one, oh my fucking god, my brain. The second book's is named after a main character, and his name is Westin. So it's like Sovereign is the first one, Westin is the second one, and then there's a third one. I don't know if there's more in the series, but the third one I just saw was named Deacon, which makes me really excited because this character gets introduced in the second book, and like you don't know about him at all in the first one, but he gets introduced in the second one, and you're like, who is this man? And I want to know more. So yeah, which I love when books do that, when like series do that, where they like introduce characters, and then you're like, but I really want to know about that one, and then they're like, aha, ask and ye shall receive. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Yep.
I know you were really liking the series, so I'm glad that it's still trucking along for you.
Very good.
That's great.
Very good series.
Very good. Cool. Well, should we jump into some beekeeping?
Surely.
Sure. Okay. Do you have any beekeeping, Hailey?
I didn't think I did, but I do. And
okay.
the beekeeping is simply that, so one of our local bookstores just got like new ownership, and the person also has a traveling book bus, kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, I'm not gonna say what it is because I don't want people to find out where I live, but I will tell you. And sorry, Cody, but I'm gonna ask for you to cut this out. But it's called, because I have to tell you what it is. It's called.
I love that. I love that so much. Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
that's such a great name.
I know, right? But anyways, so new ownership bookstore. I went in there because one of my best friend's birthdays was on Monday, and I wanted to get her some books, and so I stopped by the bookstore, and they keep their romance upstairs, which I'm like, hell yeah.
Awesome.
Has its own like floor.
That's really cool.
And I picked myself up 2 books because I can't shop for people and get them gifts and not like get myself something. I promise I'm a good person.
Sweet treat.
That sounds so bad.
Yeah, but if you're like buying books for people, then you're like, wow, this book I've been looking at looks really good too, and that's for me. Mm-hmm. So I'll take this one. And yeah, I get it.
And they had 2 books that I was like, that I've been really wanting to read, and just haven't had the time to like get them. So the first one is the 3rd book in, oh gosh, I can't remember what the series is called because it's been so long since I've read the books. It was one that I was waiting for a while now, and I can't remember if it was in my like most anticipated books list or whatever that we talked about. But it's it's called The Love Lyric by Christina Forrest, which I've talked about her books before. Mm-hmm. I've also talked pretty heavily about her as an author and how much I love her writing. But it's part of so the Neighbor Favor book and then the Partner Plot.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the 3rd one, and it's about like 3 sisters and their love stories. So yeah, so it's called.
Very cool. So this is the 3rd sister then, because there's 3, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So
because I read the Neighbor Favor. I didn't read the Partner Plot yet, but I read the Neighbor Favor.
Yeah, and it's a really pretty like purple cover, and yeah, I'm really excited to read it. And then the other book that I got was oh my gosh, I feel like you talked about it as like one of the things that you got, like an arc that you got approved for, and I can't remember what it was called.
Oh, okay.
It had to do with she moves to a new town and she starts dating like the coroner or something.
Yes. Morbidly Yours.
Yes. I found it
by
in the wild. And
Ivy something?
Yes, and I bought it.
Yeah, that was a great book. I loved it. She moves to Ireland,
mm-hmm.
and she hooks up with her neighbor who happens to be the local coroner. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really good book, actually. Yeah, I really liked it. I think you'll love it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to read it. And it's by Ivy Fairbanks.
Ivy Fairbanks,
yep.
Yeah, great book.
I'm
great book.
So excited to read it.
Ooh, yeah. Sweet.
So that's what I've been up to.
That's great beekeeping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The beekeeping I have to share is an update on book bans in our country.
Yay.
The United States of America. So it's not good news. It's actually really not a book ban update. It's more of a libraries are just getting screwed over update. So many of you all might have heard already, but last week Trump fired the Librarian of Congress, Carla Hayden. She was fired via email that apparently had 2 sentences in it. And 2 days after she was fired, the administration announced that Trump's former defense attorney would be given that role.
Oh my God, I hate it here.
Yes, terrible. As of this writing, the appointment has yet to be acknowledged or honored by anyone other than Trump and his associates. So who knows if that appointment's going to, continue. But the librarian was fired, who had been there for a long time. She had been there since the Obama administration, I believe, actually. So she's been very, very good. She's actually done a lot of things for the Library of Congress at the national level, and has worked to reestablish. She's reorganized the Library of Congress in the sense that the reading room has changed a lot to be more accessible for people and for researchers and for visitors. I visited it a couple years ago, and they were right in the middle of remodeling it, and I've heard that it's really, really good now that it's finished. So she did a lot of great things, and now we don't know what's going to happen with the Library of Congress.
Is he allowed to do that?
I believe he is.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. I'm not an expert, but I do think the president chooses who runs the Library of Congress.
Because I always wonder, like, I only ask because I feel like a lot of the stuff that he does is very much like he just does it, and then it's like, well, you actually can't do that. And then, like, people just kind of are like, oh, he's doing this, and it's like, well, he's not.
But, like, don't do that.
Yeah. Like, well, he's not, and he can't, so it's not happening. He just, like, it's like people, like, I don't know, it's like they take stuff that he does at face value, and they're like, oh, he's doing this, and it's like, actually, there's, like, things in place that prevents him from doing those things. But they try really hard, really, really hard to just do shit like that. And then they almost, like, do shit and then ask questions later about it, you know? They're like, do it, seek forgiveness better than permission, or whatever the fuck that phrase is. So
right. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly right. I just did a little bit more digging
Tell me the bad
on
news.
Carla Hayden, and she was the first woman and first Black American to be appointed to the role of Librarian of Congress in 2016.
Wow.
And she was the first librarian to have traditional credentials as a librarian. And her term would have expired in 2026.
Oh.
And Trump decided to fire her early. She probably wouldn't have been renewed, obviously, based off of the administration, but she served almost 10 years, and she is credited for modernizing the library and also bringing the library to the everyday people.
Wow.
So I'm really sorry to see her go. I really hope the next person can continue the legacy, but obviously the person who appoints it has decision-making power, and who knows where that's going to go.
What? Okay, I'm gonna sound like a really dumb idiot citizen right now, but what is the Library of Congress exactly?
Good question. The Library of Congress is actually really complicated. There's a lot of things they do. So they have a lot of rare books. They manage the presidential libraries. So like the Jefferson Library is in the Library of Congress. There's also the Madison Library and a few others. And I'm not an expert on the Library of Congress, by the way. I just know it very, very surfacefully, over the top. I just said surfacefully, and that's not even a word. So that shows you what I know about this.
Surface level.
But but it does help with a lot of things. In fact, one of the biggest things I know about the Library of Congress is that for those who have disabilities like hearing or seeing, they can give books to those. So my uncle, who's legally blind, actually gets his books from the Library of Congress because they used to have cassette tapes, and they would mail him cassette tapes just like you would get from a regular library. He'd get 6 or 8 at a time, and then he would send them off and get more. But now they have a special machine where it looks like it's one cassette, but it's a whole book, and you just plug it into like a USB style machine and you get your books that way. And so my uncle for decades has gotten his books this way.
Wow.
So that's just one small thing that I know that they do, but they also support a lot of things, the Register of Copyrights.
Fun.
Yeah, they do so many different things.
So like really important stuff that's not good that people are okay. That makes that. Wow, that sucks.
Yeah. So there's actually a whole list of things in what the Library of Congress do in this read-up by Book Riot. I don't want to get too much into it, but I'm just looking to see. Oh, this is about the Librarian of Congress. Sorry, not the library itself. So maybe we should do an episode on it, actually. I think that would be good.
Yeah, I just, okay, so the President of the United States appoints the Librarian of Congress, but the appointment requires confirmation by the Senate. This means the President nominates a person for the position, and the Senate then holds hearings and votes to decide whether or not they approve the nominee.
So that's like any other role that the president nominates.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now because I'm really curious.
Okay.
Okay, so they only are able to do a term of 10 years.
Oh, so after 10 years, they can't do another term?
I don't know about not doing another term, but it just says that their term is usually, and this is according to Wikipedia. Shout out Wikipedia.
Boop, boop. 10 years.
The Librarian of Congress is the head of the Library of Congress. No shit.
Yep. That's good to know.
Yeah. Appointed by the President of the United States with the advice of the consent of the United States Senate for a term of 10 years. Oh, term length. Where is it? Office by now, blah, 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 blah. And be reappointed to the post with the same procedure. So the librarian may then serve for a term of 10 years and be reappointed. So yeah, sounds like they can be a Librarian of Congress for a hot minute.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Too bad Trump fired her.
Apparently in 2015, they put a 10-year limit on it.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
It is interesting. They're like, nah.
Yeah. We gotta limit this.
We gotta limit this, you guys.
We gotta limit this librarian's power.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, we should do a full episode on like the Library of Congress as a whole. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, there was one where they were there for less than or a little over a year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Well, just one more reason to support libraries, and if you are able to support Library of Congress, they do a lot of amazing things. So, support them however you can.
Yeah. Apparently it's been disputed since the two people.
What has?
So Robert Newland and Todd Blanche, who are the acting people of the Librarian of Congress right now, supposedly, according to Wikipedia, that were appointed May 8th, disputed, and then May 12th, and disputed.
Oh, wow.
That makes me laugh.
Okay. Well, we'll keep you posted as it develops, because who knows what's going to happen tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, holy shit, one person, September 14th of 1987 to September 30th of 2015.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why they changed it to 10 years.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, no, we can't be doing that.
Yeah, that's a long-ass time, for sure.
You can't have a lifelong appointment. That's silly.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Cool. All right. Should we jump into the main topic for today?
Yes.
After having this really smart discussion of Library of Congress, we are going to celebrate episode 69 by talking about the 3 spiciest books that we've read, or at least 3 of the spiciest books we've read. Because for me, I've probably only read 3 spicy books, and for Hailey, she's only read spicy books.
The whole catalog.
The whole catalog. So we're going to talk about our 3 favorites, or 3 of our favorites, and chat about them. So do you want to start with your first one, Hailey?
Yeah. So my first one, I'm pretty sure I've talked a little bit about it in a previous episode. And I don't know if I've actually talked about it in depth. I think I just said that it was one that I was reading. But it's called Mercy by Sara Cate. Don't know how good of an author this author is, so don't judge me. But if they're a good person or not. So I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. But this book was a spicy meatball. I'm trying to remember actually what all happened. Hold on, give me 2 seconds, and I'm going to look it up because
Sure.
I have this book on my shelf. I had a physical copy. That's what I was looking for. I have and the book cover now is much different than the book cover that is on Goodreads.
Mm-hmm.
But it's number 4 in the Salacious Players Club, so take that with a grain of salt too, in true me fashion. Just reading books, just completely out of turn, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's basically about this girl who is like, she, is like a co-owner of like a, like, lack of a better term, like a sex club, like a BDSM, like, kink club. And, the club is called the Salacious Players, hence the, like, series name. And she is, like, super de-duper, like, vanilla ice cream girl. Like, she, I guess spoilers too, sorry, like, if anyone wanted to read this, but I'm just gonna full spoil it, sorry.
Go for it.
But she's, she was super, like, vanilla girl, and she ends up becoming a dom. Like,
okay.
In a, like, I don't know what I'm doing, but, like, I want to explore type of way. And, I can't remember if the other main character, if he's, I feel like he's one of her co-owners, like, son, I think. And I think she's, like, older than him, too. Like, I got the feeling, and I can't remember if they actually said how old she was in the book, but, I remember when I was reading it, I feel like she was, like, maybe, like, mid-40s, and he's, like, mid-20s. So it's, like, a age gap, but, like, reverse, because usually when you read books, it's, like, you know, the guy is usually the one that's age gapped as older than the girl. And, yeah, so he is also fairly new to the kink world, and he becomes her sub. So, yeah. and he's a brat too, so okay, terms, right? Like, so when you have, like, a dom sub dynamic, submissives, they can have what's called a brat, which in loose layman's terms, that I don't want to, like, represent the kink community, but, like, basically a brat is essentially a brat. Like, they are, like, push limits and push buttons, and you have to, like, correct them. But yeah, so that was this book, and boy oh boy was it definitely a 5. And I think I'm putting it on the list because it was, like, the first book that didn't feel, like, super misrepresenty of like the BDSM community in like a 50 Shades of Grey way, right? Where, like, there's no contract, there's no, like, talking about it, there's no, like, boundaries that is, like, actually really, really important in that community. But yeah, and just the reverse of it all, and because usually you don't see, like, well, at least I haven't read a lot of books where the woman is the one that's, like, the one in charge, you know? So yeah, it was good, though.
I agree.
It was very good.
Yeah, sounds really good. It definitely sounds like something my wife would read. In fact, she might have read this. I do feel like she's brought it up to me before.
Yeah, it's really good. And it wasn't, like, one of those books where it was, like, super, like, poorly written, and it was, you know what I mean? Like, it actually had a little bit of plot, which was nice. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Very cool. That's a good first book.
Thanks. What's yours?
My first is not a surprise. It's a surprise to Hailey because I'm going out of order on my list, okay. But it's not a surprise for the listener because I've talked about the series before. We've talked about this series before. And for me, this is one of the spiciest books I've read. It is A Court of Silver Flame by Sarah J. Maas. I have to say, I put this book on because I feel like this was the first time I read a romance series that I was interested in and, like, thought that romance would be a genre that I could get into. And even though now I've read books that are definitely not, like, are not as like are that are way more spicy than Silver Flame. This one still kind of puts it in there for me, and I remember just being really surprised by this book.
Is this the one?
Because it's definitely spicier.
Is this the one? This is the one with Nesta and
Cassia.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, so
yes, it
definitely the
is.
spiciest one for sure.
Like this one is like just all spice all the time, very little plot. But it's really good. I actually really like this book a lot, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm curious to see the rest of the series go, like everyone else in America is, I'm sure. So to give a quick summary, the whole ACOTAR series revolves around this character, Farah, who ends up going into the fairy world, and she has her own interaction, but she has two sisters, Nesta and Elaine. And this last book in the series so far is about Nesta, who is kind of a bitch, and was going through some stuff with her family, and she ends up kind of growing in this book a lot, and she meets a love interest, and it is a really, really good book, really great series. I highly recommend it. We've talked about it so much on this podcast that I feel like we don't need to, but I did want to bring it up, and it's definitely probably still in the top 3 spiciest books I've read. So, but I'm working on it.
Trying to get more under the belt,
Trying to get more under the belt. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I think, you know what, I'll say that it might not be like the most spiciest book that I've ever read, but I think it was like very tasteful spice.
Yes, it is very tasteful. You're right.
And it's written in a way that like it makes you actually like connect with the characters. And it doesn't necessarily feel like you're just reading smut.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, it's got a lot of plot to it.
Yeah.
And it really feels more like it's really like a romantasy than it is a romance. And I appreciate that part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think just outside of that too, like that book is one of my favorites in that whole series, mainly because like of the character development. So
yeah, that's absolutely true. The character development is unmatched in this series for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, what is your next book, Hailey?
So my next book is one that I've literally just talked about, like in our last episode or 2 episodes ago. I can't remember now. But it is Sovereign by Raya Morris Edwards. And this book is seriously like one of the spiciest books I've read. Like legit. It's which is saying something, okay? Like I've read some books, okay?
That's true. That's very true.
I've read Den of Vipers and Lived to Tell a Tale.
Yeah.
Which, like, if anyone listening has read like that genre type of books, holy shit, like it's some of the stuff in that book is messed up. Also some of the stuff in this book is messed up. It's cowboy romance.
Okay.
One of the spicier cowboy romances that I've read, and it's like I've said, I think in the last episode when I was describing it, it gives like Yellowstone. Like seriously, it gives like Yellowstone so hard. And or maybe I didn't say that, but I'm saying it now. It gives Yellowstone. And
you did say that.
Okay.
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Well, it seriously like and the second book too is like just as spicy, so it's not like it like, you know, one spicy and then it's like a lull afterwards, like it just keeps going. And just some of the shit that this man does to this woman in in this book, I was like, holy crap. And it's very I don't even know what the word is to describe it. It's spicy. It's very spicy. Just gonna, you know, it's spicy. It's a spicy meatball, and if you
that's what we're here for,
want to read a morally, I wouldn't even call this like a morally gray book, because there's some parts in it where I was like, it's a little boundary breaking, but okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, and all of the characters are morally great like that. I think that's why I like it so much, is because it's not just like the male main character, and he's just like super like morally gray, and you never know, like everyone, like all of the characters are morally gray. Like every single one of them has, you get like glimpses and glimmers of like, oh, we're like, oh, that wasn't so bad, and then they do something terrible, and you're like, oh, well, that was not great either. Like, so, like even the like characters that are supposed to be good still do messed up shit. So,
yeah. I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
In a book, for sure.
Yeah, it's probably definitely, at least in the last, like, I'll say like in this year, the spiciest book that I've read this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's saying a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I've read some spice.
Yes. Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
Yes.
Well, good. That definitely sounds like the perfect book for episode 69.
Yes, exactly. Although, well, I was gonna say none of that happens in this book, ironically, but
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. That's fair.
What's your next book?
My next book is actually going to be similar to the one you just said. It's Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver, and I believe I read that this year.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I read it last year. I can't remember.
It was either
But it's also
go ahead.
pretty morally ambiguous, and I don't really know how to describe this book either, except that it's about two serial killers that fall in love with each other, and they start by trying to kill each other, and then they end up having competitions on killing people together. So that's what you need to know going into the book. But they only kill people that are like bad, like either like they're doing bad things or they're also killers, but they're killers who are like, you know, just killing for fun. It has one of the best content warnings that I've ever read in a book. I sent it to Hailey when I was reading it, and it's really funny. And once you realize what's happening, it's definitely pretty wild.
Oh yeah,
there is some pretty heavy content.
I'm sorry, I just remembered one of the things that was on it that was
yeah. Yep. If you know, you know, for sure. And it's a trilogy. I can honestly say I have not continued the trilogy. My wife, I believe, has finished it because the third book came out recently, but I don't know for sure that she's read them all. She definitely read the second book. I haven't read the second book yet, but it is pretty spicy. It's probably the spiciest book I've read in this like horror romance genre, I guess. Without it being to a point, because there are books that I read, I will say there are books that I read that have very graphic sexual content, but I don't market them that way because I don't feel like that's the premise of the book, like the purpose of it anyway.
right.
So I've definitely read some pretty fucked up shit, but this one is the most fucked up that still feels like it's romance and not just some creepy horror. Yeah, I've definitely talked about some books on here before that would qualify, but this one is still within the romance genre, so I'm going to qualify it for that. But it is really good. It's really popular. People are loving it right now. It was popular on Book Talk for a while, and it's justified because it is a pretty good book, pretty good story.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes, like on Book Talk, they'll be like, "What's your spiciest?" And then people will like list stuff for like shock factor, like Butcher and Blackbird, and you're like, "Yeah, well, that was like, you know, spicy, but not like, I don't know." I feel like sometimes those Book Talk books, it's like it'll be like one spicy scene in the whole freaking book that's just like super like holy shit, instead of like the whole book just being like really spicy the whole time. Yeah,
I do feel that way with this book. I don't think like the shock of this book isn't the spice, it's the what's happening in the book. I don't remember what I rated it, and I don't know if I would rate it a 5 now. I don't think I would, from what I remember, but there was definitely some sex for sure. So it was probably like maybe a 4 on the honey scale. And if you listen to the episode where I talked about it and I say a 5, then trust previous me, not current me, because he read it more recently than I did. But I don't remember being incredibly graphic when it came to sexual content, but it was definitely just graphic in general, for sure. Yeah. Are you ready for your last book, Hailey?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Might as well be.
What's your last book?
So my last book is one that I feel like I've talked about in our very early episodes. But it's one that I haven't talked about recently. And it's called Queen Takes Knights, which is the first book in the series. And the series is like, I don't even know, like 7 books long, 9 books. I don't fucking know. There's a lot of books in the series. And it's by Joelle Sue Burkhart. And it is porn with plot. Like, truly. It's, I don't even know how, like, okay. The, like, spicy scenes, like, carry the story forward, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, there's, like, story happening in, like, the background, and there's, like, this big overarching, like, scheme happening that, like, you don't even really pay attention to, because each, like, each chapter is just, like, smut. Like, you're just like, la 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 la, and then something, like, happens, and you're like, oh, that was not good, and then you just keep going. And, like, the plot just progresses, and then at one point, like, once you get, like, a few books in, then, like, some really, like, epic stuff starts happening. You're like, oh, wait, oh, shit, all this was happening, like, behind the scenes.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a really it's really good book, and the smut is written really well.
Okay.
And there's shapeshifters and magic, and I don't think that the term vampire was used, but it basically, like, she has like they I want to say that they, like, they don't, like, suck each other's blood, but, like, they, like, take each other's, like, blood to, like, soul bond. It's very, there's a lot of depth to these books. Let me go find the friggin' description, because I feel like I'm doing a really bad job of describing this book. And it's also been, like, a couple years since I've read the first one, so.
Yeah.
Bear with me.
Sounds intense.
Ah, it is a vampire. Okay, so vampires. Okay, so their vampire queen is the, like, series name. Okay. The book description.
Well, while you're...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, are you ready?
No, go ahead.
I can wait. I was just going to say, when you're talking about the vampire book, it reminded me that I signed up for this article, this newsletter. It's called Dracula Daily, where you were supposed to start it on May, I think, 6th, which is when Dracula starts, because it's told in, like, journals, like it's an epistolary novel. Mm-hmm. So you get a emailed newsletter for every entry of the Dracula journal, and you read it along, like you're sequentially going through Dracula, and it starts in May and it ends in November. I just heard about it today, and I signed up for it. So I'm kind of curious to see how it goes.
That sounds cool.
Yep. That's what I got.
Oh, man.
Okay, I'm ready to hear the description.
Okay, so sorry, I'm reading the description and I'm just like, I can't believe I read this. Okay. A lost virgin vampire queen. Just that sentence. Sorry.
Perfect.
Yep. Just
right out of the jump.
Right out the gate. Okay. 2 vampire knights swore to protect her. It's about to get very hot and bloody. Ever since her mother was murdered by monsters 5 years ago, Sara Isidore has been on the run. Alone, scared, and exhausted, oh my god, I'm so sorry, you guys. Okay. Alone, scared, and exhausted, she's finally cornered in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Out of hope with nowhere else to turn, she's ready to end it all when 2 men come to her rescue. They say she's a lost queen descended from Isis, and they're her blood. Vampire Knights sworn to protect her. It all seems like a crazy nightmare until the Alpha offers his blood. Then she realizes she's never wanted anything more, except maybe his body and his friends too.
Oh.
But they're not the only ones searching for a lost queen. Sara must learn how to wield her new powers quickly and conquer her fears if she intends to keep them all alive. Yeah, because that's like they like have to feed off of her in order to stay alive, and like she has to gain more power to like stay alive so she can feed that. It's and I think at one point and it's a reverse harem too, so like I think at one point she has like 5 guys of like her like bonded people, so it might even be more than that. Anyways,
wow.
Yeah, definitely 10 out of 10 spice. I'm talking just it's crazy. And I think I picked this one because it was the first book that I read that was spicy in like a reverse harem that was like, I don't know, like it like hits it. This is weird, but it hits like all of the like paranormal romance like check marks because it's got like such different aspects. Like they're vampires, they're shapeshifters, there's like folklore wrapped in there, there's
oh wow,
like gods and goddesses. That it's a whole thing. So yeah, anyways,
wow,
it's good.
Yeah, I remember you talking about this book before, and I definitely remember the content for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, definitely a good book for this episode for sure.
Yes, exactly. Definitely Honeyed Frenzy for all the books that I've listed. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely true.
What's your last one, Cody?
My last one shouldn't be surprised because I talked about her new book at the intro, but it is Kimberly Lemming's series, The Mead Mishaps, and I picked one specifically that I think is the spiciest of the 3. It is a trilogy. It's a fantasy romantasy of series about 3 sisters who both find love, or all 3, find love with a demon or some sort of mystical creature. And the second book is called The Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf. Mm-hmm. It is really funny. Hilarious book full of just quirkiness, and also happens to include a lot of some content, including like bondage, things along those lines. So it's absolutely a 5 out of 5. When you have a conversation about a werewolf and also tentacles are involved, it's definitely a 5 out of 5. And I'll just leave it at that. Probably the spiciest book I've read ever, for sure. That at least falls into the romance category. So I would definitely say that if you're a fan of romantasy or funny, like it's really funny too. If you're just a fan of funny novels and also romance, that I would say is tastefully done and is pretty heartwarming at the end of the day. I think you would really enjoy all 3 of these books. They're really, really good, and the covers are just so fun, and the titles are hilarious. So I can't recommend them enough. They're just really good.
Yeah, and I think I've only read the first one, and very good.
Yeah.
They read to me like a D&D campaign.
They are very much like a D&D campaign. Yes, I totally agree with that. Great series. Great books all around.
Mm-hmm. Truly.
Yeah. Episode 69 is a big accomplishment, especially for a romance podcast like us. Exactly. A romance book podcast. Those are some of our, I guess we should say, spiciest books that we've read. So we'd love to hear books that you've read that fall under this category. You can email us booksandbeespod@gmail.com. You can Instagram us at booksandthebeespod. If you also want to show us the spicy books you've read, you can do that by going on to your podcast listening app and giving us a 5-star review. And then in that app, you can comment and say what your spiciest book is. Yes. Or you can just give us a 5-star review.
Yeah.
That's fine too. So feel free to do that. I did want to mention too that we are going to next week talk about Bloodchild by Octavia Butler, which is our co-read for May. We're going to be spoilery about it.
Yeah.
So Hailey and I have both finished it. We're excited to talk about it in depth. It's really, really quick if you haven't read it yet. So go get it right now.
Right now.
Did you get it?
Immediately.
Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. It's really, really good. And I'm excited to talk about it with you, Hailey, and with the listeners as a whole.
Yeah, me too.
Do you want to announce the new book too for June?
Is it the one that we've been talking about on...
Yeah, are you good with that one?
Yeah. I think it's cute.
Yeah. Cool. So we also have been talking in the background, and we have decided that for the June co-read, because we're now going to try a co-read every month and see how it goes. I'm pulling it up because I don't remember the author's name. It is called The Guncle by Stephen Rowley.
Yes.
This sounds like a great book. It was really popular when it first came out, and it's one that I've always wanted to read. I wanted to pick a romance that is, or excuse me, a book that is a pride book. I don't think it's a romance. I think it's just going to be a funny, quirky novel.
Yeah, I thought it was maybe a romance, but yeah, when I read the description, I was like, oh, this doesn't seem like a romance, but it does seem really, really cute.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a cute, I think, funny novel too. So I'm really excited to read it. It is part of a 2-book series. It might be more than that, but I know there's at least 2 books in the series out now. And he's also written other books that are romance. So there might be a little bit of romance in here just because that's what he's used to. But I'm really excited to give it a shot. And I think it's a great book for Pride.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's so sad because I'm part of the community, but I keep forgetting that it's next month.
Soon. It's so soon. Yeah.
I'm really excited for this book, though.
This year's flying by.
Truly.
This year's flying by.
Truly. We're almost like the second to last week in May. How?
Yeah.
How?
It's crazy.
What?
Yep. So for next week, we'll do Bloodchild. So if you haven't read it yet, please do so. And then for June, we'll do The Guncle. As always, we won't get spoilery until the end. Or maybe we'll do this one in bits since it's actually a full book. Yeah. So we will announce that shortly as well. But you'll have plenty of time before we start talking about it. And then the last but not least, I want to make sure I give a thank you to the American Indie for the use of their song Rendezvous. It's the intro and outro to our podcast. It's a bop. We love it. And thank you so much for letting us use your song.
Yes, thank you.
And that's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed this literary journey as much as we did. If you're buzzing with excitement, don't forget to subscribe, email us, and leave a high 5-worthy review on your podcast listening app. Until next time, happy reading, and may your shelves be filled with tales as enchanting as a blooming garden. Keep the buzz alive, and we'll catch you in the next chapter. Bye for now.
Bye, 69.